I'm Tom Hanafan.
My name is Shirley Hanafan, and I have a daughter Kari and a son Chris, son-in-law Chad, who's married to Kari, and Kathy's here. She's married to Chris. I have 6 grandchildren.
I was pretty active in sports. My dad was always a big sports guy, and then I went to college and got to play college sports. And then when the kids were born, that's about all I knew to make sure they were active is we played ball all the time.
From the day I can remember, we were doing sports. It was just something we did a lot. Dad would take us to softball games or his softball games. We lived at the fields all summer long. When he'd go play basketball, he'd take me with him. He ended up being our coach, my coach on our baseball teams. Funny story is I've only been ever kicked out of one game in my life, and it was when I was a little kid, and it was by my own dad. So, those are things that you remember, but they were good memories.
They don't look at it the same way I do, but in their careers, they're leaders. Kathy, what she does and what Chad does, he coaches and works every day. And these two have been involved with kids, and they've always been the leaders. I mean, even though they may not think they are, they've always been the ones that were stepping up. They kind of learned that position. They've been involved and have never been afraid to volunteer or to support if there was somebody out there that needed help.
Now especially, I coach 3 sports, and with 3 kids who are all over the place, it's one of those things that you kind of pick and choose what you can do, and like Mom said, the kids come first, so it's kind of the way we've done it.
My mom and I traveled to every game we could go to. I worked and my mom worked, and we'd get home at 11 or 12 o'clock at night after going to those games, and we didn't miss a game that was at home. We would go down early and before the game would start, and we'd clean the house and take a new piece of furniture down to replace one that broke.
Yeah, sports have been a big part of our lives since we were kids. Taught us some great things, been around good people, and it's carrying over into our kids as well. As Mom and Dad said, it's just something that we do and something we'll continue to do.
For me, it wasn't like being a politician. It was just like being a guy that went to work every day, enjoyed it, and worked with good people. The kind of sports drugged me into it. I'll be very honest. There are 2 things that happened. I started coaching, did football and basketball, and then I started getting involved in the community a little bit more, joined the Optimist Club, and then I got on the YMCA board of directors, and then Chris went to kindergarten. And the school that he went to was brand new. They had torn down the old school and they built a brand new school with no walls. And very controversial in the neighborhood. So they formed a committee, and I got to be in charge of the committee, and they put people who were against it and people who were for it on the committee. And we did a long study, about 2 months of study. We talked to neighbors, we talked to students, we went to different areas. And then I had to make a presentation at the school board. And at the end of the day, every one of our recommendations they went ahead and did. And so then all of a sudden, that involvement started getting greater. I was serving on the the YMCA board, and the guy said to me, he said, you need to run for council. Started out sports, being involved, and evolved into about 30 years of it.
I was always there to support him. I've always supported whatever he's decided to do. It's, he's just a great leader, a good person, and cares about the community, so anything he's wanted to do to help us out has been good for me.
It doesn't matter if you have $1 million or 2, he's going to listen to you the same. It's not about that. It was about what we stand for, and I think that was it too.
Sports taught me, and I think taught our family, that you can't make it on your own. And I think if you talk to these 3, they can tell you that, as a team member, they've got to have the support, and you got to support that individual. Nobody can win a game or nobody can get better unless everybody as a team performs that effort. That's the same way as you do in government. It's a we type situation.